Sir, I heard you get into a heated debate with that guy over there. What was going on there? I love this guy. This guy's my brother. Trump!
That's right.
Trump! I personally think the right direction is the Bill of Rights. We don't need to go beyond it. Our First Amendment right, RAPS, R-A-P-P-S, religion, assembly, petition, press, speech, right? Anybody who violates that is our enemy.
Don't ask me what I think about Kamala.
Oh, no, I want to know. I want to know. The world wants to know what you think about Kamala Harris. Who wants to know what he thinks about Kamala Harris? I do. So this fake stream media idea that Trump is racist doesn't resonate with you.
I mean, if he's racist, let him be racist. I mean, as long as he's doing his job.
Oh, Obama's bad too.
Pallets of cash.
Oh, yeah.
He's not bad too.
Oh, no, Obama's evil.
He's evil.
Yeah. So is Donald Trump.
No.
I saw something heated going on over here. What was going on?
I'm just talking to people about what Trump wants to do.
The mainstream media keep on lying and pushing this idiocy on every American that they can.
All right, the precept in life is when in Rome, be like the Romans. MAGA, make America great again. Red flag laws aren't evil? I like take the guns first, due process second.
I'm done with the conversation.
It's because it's uncomfortable.
Donald Trump is my president, and I am not happy about the way you're referring to him.
And this right here is what cognitive dissonance looks like. When you're drinking the Kool-Aid, I'm pro Second Amendment.
Turn off the camera and we can talk. Turn off the camera and we can talk.
I'm
I'm done talking to you.
Why?
Turn off the camera and we can talk. Turn off the camera and we'll talk. You said you don't like my president. Turn off the camera. You can go to hell.
You know how many millions of men died?
Don't fucking point that thing at me, buddy.
Okay, we're out here in Atlanta, Georgia. There's 159 counties in Georgia. It is a swing state. It is a battleground state. It's one of the 7. And in 2020, Biden won by a Federal Reserve razor line. So, and it was kind of like I think it was, what was it, 49.6% for Biden, 49.2% for Trump, and it was about 11,000 vote difference. So it's really, really tight in Georgia. I'm talking to Cody. He's got some 11,000. Yep, 11,200 something with the phone call. Exactly. So Cody's got some issues with Trump, and what are those issues?
What concerns me about Trump right now is the things that he's been saying at his rallies, talking about using the Foreign Enemy Act from 1787. And what concerns me is that he's continued down like this rhetoric of saying that like we have towns that are overtaken by illegal gangs. He says that people are eating cats and dogs in Ohio and such. And I guess what concerns me is like what he's talking about doing would be using the power of the federal government and colluding with local police to like do a mass deportation program. Like the only thing I can like go back in history to tie that to would be 1954, like the Operation Wetback. And those were Mexican workers we brought to this country to like work for us as well, like to work on the railroads and our farms, right? And so when he's talking about going after people that are illegally trying to come here and like stimulate our economy and then using like the force of the federal authorities with local police, that scares the shit out of me.
Okay, we've got Donald Trump here. Donald Trump, hey, can I get your reaction on red flag laws? What's going on with the red flag laws? Give me a comment on take the guns first, due process second. How did it feel when you sat right next to Diane Frankenstein and you said, I don't know, Mike, I like take the guns first, due process second. How does that square with the Second Amendment, Mr. Trump, if I may?
Take the guns first, go through due process second.
It's a beautiful day right here in Atlanta, Georgia. We're going to be talking to a lot of people, a lot of beautiful people. Here's a beautiful person right here. Ma'am, can we talk with you? We've got beautiful people out here. All right, this guy's working hard. Sir, I heard you get into a heated debate with that guy over there. What was going on there?
He just don't believe that Trump should do a mass deportation.
Okay.
And so I just told him that if you come illegal, you break the law, okay, you go back home and come in the right way. There's so many other people that's just sitting around that's paying money to get here, that's, taking the proper courses to come here. And for somebody to just walk in front of you after you've been in line for so long, I don't think that that's right.
And basically the way you see it, when somebody comes over the line into America and they start taking jobs that belong to America and they didn't go through the legal process, that's what you got a problem with.
I've got a problem with that. Also, I'm from Dillon, South Carolina. I remember when the magnet workers started coming over. I used to pick cucumbers as a little boy. We used to get, $6, $7 a sack for cucumbers. And when the magnet workers came in, they paid them 50 cents a bucket. So that basically took jobs right from us.
So is it safe to say that you're pro-Trump, that you're voting for Trump this year?
Definitely voting for Trump.
Now, did you have any problems with with what Trump did in his first term?
Not a thing. I think everybody loved him. I mean, he didn't promise anybody anything. He just said what he was going to do for America. He didn't go say, well, I'm going to do this for black people, white people, Puerto Rican people. He didn't do any of that. He loved this country, and he's fighting for this country, and he put America first. That's all he did.
So this fake stream media idea that Trump is racist doesn't resonate with you?
I mean, if he's racist, let him be racist. I mean, as long as he's doing his job.
Do you think he is? I mean, in your heart?
I don't think he is. I mean, when you talk about being friends with somebody like Jim Brown, that was an icon. When you got people like Mike Tyson, he got so many
Don
King, he got so many friends that have vouched for him. And the mainstream media keep on lying and pushing this idiocy on every American that they can.
All right, I'm assuming you guys are pro-Trump.
Yeah.
You want to tell the world what you like about Donald Trump?
What is there not to like about Donald Trump?
What are some of the policies that you like that he's going to be instituting in this next 4 years?
Well, he's going to be making the American dollar actually worth something again. And, talk to this man right here. He can tell you more.
Oh, man, we got the policy guy. The policy guy is on the scene.
Donald Trump has been saying that he's going to make America rich again. There's a reason for that. The dollar is dead. We are going to be rich. The homeless people on the side of the road are going to be rich. The entire world is getting better right now, and Donald Trump is behind a lot of it.
So what are some of the policies you think he's going to institute economically that will strengthen the dollar?
He's never said anything that is not about to come true, so it's going to strengthen the dollar. The dollar is dead. The dollar's not going to get strengthened, but our country is going to, and we're going to have a new currency.
Well, what currency are you talking about?
The gold-backed currency.
Okay.
XRP.
Now, has Donald Trump talked about that? I'm not familiar with that in his policy.
Talk about a lot of things, but a lot of things are happening in the background, and most people have no clue.
On that front, you know how a lot of people try to pin Project 2025 on Donald Trump?
That's silly.
Yeah, but have you ever read it? There's actually some good things in there. Like one of them is returning the U.S. dollar to sound money.
The U.S. dollar needs to go away.
Well, if it's going to exist, it has to be pegged to something sound, right? Because they closed the gold window back in 1971 under Nixon because, they basically defaulted on the gold with the other countries.
The BRICS nations are here, and they're here to stay. The dollar is going away, and we are going to survive, and we're going to succeed, and we're going to be great again.
Now, is there anything Donald Trump did in his first term that you were not really fond of?
No.
Are you a pro-Second Amendment guy?
Yes.
So when it says shall not be infringed, you believe shall not be infringed. Like there's no limitation on the Second Amendment, right? That's how I feel about it.
Legalese is a term. The American Bar Association, British accredited. What does that mean? British accredited registrar. That means that we're beholden to England. The laws that are out there now need to go away. We need to go back to common law.
What do you think about somebody who wants to take people's guns away? Like Kamala Harris wants to ban AK-47s, AR-15s, high-capacity magazines.
Don't ask me what I think about Kamala.
Oh, no, I want to know. The world wants to know what you think about Kamala Harris. Who wants to know what he thinks about Kamala Harris? I do. Go ahead.
Kamala Harris is done. She's done. She's gone. She's not even here.
Now Trump calls her comrade.
Anything she says because she's not real.
Trump calls her Comrade Kamala. You agree with that?
Yes.
And one of the reasons I think he calls her that is because she wants to take away our guns. I mean, one of the fundamental rights.
Because of her father, who teaches socialism or teach socialism.
So, what do you think about a politician who wants to take away our guns? Are you for them or against them?
They can't. It's in It's in our Constitution. They're trying to get little technicalities and little loopholes, but it's not going to work.
Weren't you disappointed when Trump came out with red flag gun confiscation laws? Like if Kamala did that, that's all I would need to know.
Came out with it?
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that have been a lot of laws have been modified after they come out. So they come out with seatbelt laws, and now and originally it was just front seat drivers. Now in some places you can get in trouble for not having backseat people because they modify the law.
Yeah, but back to the guns things. I mean, if Kamala Harris wants red flag laws, and so does Donald Trump, I'm against that because shall not be infringed means shall not be infringed. If you're an American, you have the right, the unalienable right to have a gun, right?
They should be able to have someone phone in the police department and then come to somebody's house because somebody phoned in anonymously and take people's guns. That's ridiculous.
Exactly.
That is ridiculous. Yeah. How do they even know that person? Who is that person that phoned in? Now, some people maybe shouldn't have guns.
Now, some people might not understand.
Examples of some people that probably shouldn't have guns.
And under red flag laws, somebody can anonymously call a police department, and the police department can go to your house in violation of the Fourth Amendment right to be secure in your person's house, papers, and effects, and confiscate your firearms in violation of the Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. It can all be done anonymously, and that's what you were saying, right?
That's right. And even Kamala was, what did she say? She said, your responsibly held guns, they can just walk into your house because they feel like it and check to see if you've stored them correctly.
That sounds like tyranny to me.
That sounds like they got a right to walk into just anybody's house because they feel like it. That's not right.
It sounds to me like a violation of 18 U.S.C. 242, deprivation of rights under color of law.
I kind of like you.
What is your name, sir?
My name's Jeff.
Jeff, you are familiar with 28 U.S.C. 300215A, correct?
Enough to get by.
United States means federal corporation. It kind of goes back to what you were saying about the dollar.
The corporation of the United States of America is also dead. It's just dead. We're a republic. We're not a democracy. We're a republic, and the corporation of the United States of America is done. It's done. It's been used against us, and now it's going away.
So you don't have a problem with, you do have a problem with the red flag laws, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you had to have a problem when Trump came out with it in 2019 under his administration. I mean, please tell me you're not in the cult of personality. It's like, no, Trump, that was bad. You got to admit.
I love my president.
I know, but you criticize your friends. Like if your friend did something bad, you'd say, dude, I love you, but you can't be doing that. He was sitting next to Diane Frankenstein when he said, I don't know, Mike, I like take the guns first, due process second. Isn't that objectionable at the very least?
Everything needs to be fine-tuned. There's some fine-tuning that can be done where we can have safety. We need safety. We don't need people marching into your house because somebody made a phone call. That's stupid.
So you're for some gun safety legislation?
All the details of everything. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I am a researcher and I try to do research.
Yeah,
and what I can see is that you're heading in a right direction in many ways. That audience there, they need to go in the right direction.
I personally think the right direction is the Bill of Rights. We don't need to go beyond it. Our First Amendment right, RAPS, R-A-P-P-S, religion, assembly, petition, press, speech, right? Anybody who violates that is our enemy. Anybody who violates the Second Amendment, we don't quarter troops anymore, so the Third Amendment's kind of out for now unless the military-industrial complex starts to shack up in our house. The Fourth Amendment, right to be secure in your person's house, papers, and effects. We have the right to be silent in the Fifth Amendment. The 10th Amendment, people, kind of ignore, but, states have rights, and if the Fed comes against that, the state of California or New Mexico or Arizona or Georgia can say, screw you, we're going to do our own thing, right?
The states have been doing their own things in many cases, but some of that stuff that they've been doing is wrong.
Oh, now, yeah, on the state level. Yeah, I agree. Like, look at California. It's a shithole.
The government shouldn't have all that power either. So a lot of stuff needs to go back to the states.
Yeah, but please tell me you're not in the cult of personality. Like you don't blindly follow Trump, right?
I don't blindly follow anybody.
You can't have been happy about Operation Warp Speed and the $6.2 trillion stimulus check to the big pharma industrial complex and record profits for Pfizer.
When Trump came in, he surrounded himself with a pit of vipers.
Like, for example, who?
He had people with him that have done things that are wrong.
Anybody come to mind?
He was recommended to stick with people that were evil people. People said, Trump, you need to work this, do this way, do this that way. And he surrounded himself into a pit of vipers, but he came out smelling clean.
Anybody in particular you're thinking about in the pit of vipers? Any names?
There's a guy called No Name.
Well, I'm just talking about
There's a
like
guy,
like
there's
you.
a guy called No Name. There's people out there that need to that have already been taken care of, but people don't realize it.
Do you have a problem with Trump's long-term relationship with warmonger Henry Kissinger? He said he's been best friends with him for decades.
Best friends? I don't remember him saying that. If he did, I'm sure they're acquaintances.
I got a lot of respect for that man right here is what he said. You know who he also said that to? Hillary and Bill Clinton. I got a lot of respect for those two people. What do you think? You got to object to Trump not jailing Hillary. She deserves to be in jail.
How can you jail somebody who's already been put to death in a military tribunal?
I know, but he said he was going to do it, and then he didn't do it.
I just made a statement, and you said, but how can you jail somebody who's not alive?
What do you mean?
Hillary's not alive. She was put to death in a military tribunal.
Well, that's not what Trump said. Trump said that she's alive.
Trump says things because he doesn't want to be like me, a guy sitting here being interviewed by somebody who's working in a direction.
You know the direction. You mean I'm working in a direction?
Trump is in front of the public.
I don't think Trump is constitutional, man. He violated the Second Amendment with the red flag laws. I like take the guns first, due process second. What about bump stock ban? He criminalized our fellow Americans under the bump stock ban. Do you not have a problem with that?
The bump stock ban, I think, is kind of stupid. Yeah,
It was-
it's kind of stupid.
Yeah, it was anti-Second Amendment. I'm so for the Second Amendment that anybody who comes near to touch it is an enemy, is my enemy. Whether it's Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Barack Obama, Donald Trump, I don't care.
Know that he criticized somebody about the bump stock ban? No, I don't personally know.
What do you mean
that.
criticize? No, he set up the law.
Yeah, but did he set up the law? Did he go along with some people to get along? When Trump was doing real estate, he hung out with some creepy people, but he had to do business in order to get along.
That's not how.
Didn't he own like 500 companies? Maybe 5 of them had bankruptcy. That's a lot of companies. I'd say that's a lot of success that Trump had. Now, are you going to fault him because he had 5 bankruptcies? What if somebody didn't do the proper work for Trump and they still wanted to get paid? Should they get paid? Did they cheat him?
Well, no, I think if you don't do the proper.
That Trump did wrong because they didn't get paid?
Well, I want to go back to things that we can actually substantiate, something that's objective, like Operation Warp Speed, like $6.2 trillion to Big Pharma, to the corporations, and to the bankers. And then the second pen that he gave to after he wrote that was to Goldman Sachs banker Steve Mnuchin. You remember that?
Did Trump have some advisors that helped him come up with these things that he should do?
Yeah, but didn't he come up? Didn't he hire John Bolton?
Ultimately, he has big shoulders, so he has to take blame for whatever people are going to try to blame him for.
I just feel like what we're seeing right here is cognitive dissonance, because you know what the truth is, and you know what Trump did, and you know he violated.
Direction, and that's where you want to go.
No, the direction I want to go is shall not be infringed. That's it.
I do not infringe on my president, and my president is Donald Trump.
So if he gets into office,
if he made a mistake, that's possible that he may have done some things that weren't perfect. But I'd say if you look at his overall record, he's way ahead of anybody I've ever met in my life.
you know that $6.2 trillion stole the time and laboring energies of every single American.
The money that Obama sent over to
Obama's bad too.
pallets of cash.
Oh, yeah.
He's not bad too.
Oh no, Obama's evil.
He's evil.
Yeah. So is Donald Trump.
No.
Red flag laws aren't evil. I like take the guns first, due process second.
I'm done with the conversation.
It's because it's uncomfortable. You know I'm telling the truth.
Listen, you claim to know things that I can't justify or verify. So that's what you know. You know what you know. I know what I know.
Donald Trump just said
Everybody
2 weeks
knows
ago,
what
I
they
protected.
know.
Donald Trump said 2 weeks ago, I protected Hillary Clinton. A lot of people don't understand this, but I protected Hillary Clinton. That's what he said.
Hillary Clinton was put to death in the military trial.
That's not what Donald Trump said.
She's not even alive. Kamala's not alive. They're all dead. They've been put to death in military tribunals.
I just
You
feel
know
like
what a military tribunal is? That's when the government may not let you have a lawyer. They already know you've done things. They bring up witnesses and then they snuff you out.
well, if
Guantanamo Bay was going to be shut down by Obama, Trump expanded it. Then he built extra courthouses. Then he built facilities for old people that are half dead so they can keep them alive long enough to give them their sentence where they probably should be put to death.
well, I think it's
There's a lot
easier
of
to
evil
deceive the
out there.
masses.
You stated it yourself. There's a lot of evil out there. Donald Trump is my president, and I am not happy about the way you're referring to him. So you have a nice day.
Okay, well, what about the red flag laws?
Have a nice day. Take your red flag laws.
And this right here is what cognitive dissonance looks like when you're drinking the Kool-Aid.
Here's what reality looks like. Hillary is dead. She's dead. She was put to death in a military tribunal.
You can't be pro Second Amendment if you're pro Trump.
You're going to just put.
You can't be.
You're going to push your agenda. You have a nice day.
If you're pro Second Amendment, you cannot be pro Trump. If you're pro U.S. worker, you can't be pro Trump. He trashed the dollar. He said, I don't know if I've signed a thing with the T on it before. He signed a $6.2 trillion stimulus bill, most of which went to the big pharma industrial complex, to the corporations, and to the big banksters. So he is owned by the Federal Reserve. No, I heard what you said about Kamala Harris. I'm against her for the same reason I'm against Trump. I'm pro Second Amendment.
Turn off the camera. Turn off the camera and we can talk. Otherwise, have a nice day. I'm done talking to you.
I just think
I'm done talking to you.
Why?
Turn off the camera and we can talk.
You're involved.
Turn off the camera and we'll talk.
You're in cognitive
You
dissonance.
said you don't like my president. You have a nice day.
And I told you why. Because I'm
No, I don't.
Because I'm pro Second Amendment. Do you know he wants to imprison somebody who burns a China-made American flag for 12 months? How do you feel about that? That's free
I said
speech.
turn off the camera. You can go to hell.
You know how many soldiers died for our freedom to be able to burn an American flag, and Donald Trump wants to put him in jail for that? Guys,
Stop bothering my friend. Go away.
Donald
Just leave
Trump
us
is so
alone.
evil, then take his hat off.
Leave us alone.
Why are you wearing
I
that?
want to make America great again, and
Yeah.
Donald Trump ain't going to do it.
Well, then
Go to
find
hell.
someone who's gonna
Go
talk
to hell.
Why?
Go to hell.
Because I'm pro Second
Get the
Amendment?
frick out of my face.
Why?
Because I asked you to. Because you're being rude, crude, and impolite.
What did I do?
I told you my opinion, and I
Okay.
said, get the frick out of here. Just get the frick out of here.
Are you against red
I'm
flag
against
laws?
you giving my president shit.
Okay.
So get the. I said, turn off the camera. The camera keeps aiming right at me.
You know that's cognitive dissonance, right?
Sir,
You're not a patriot.
fuck you.
You know how many millions of
Fuck you.
you know how many millions of men
Don't
died?
fucking point that thing at me, buddy. I asked
I'm
you
not-
to cut it out.
I'm not touching you.
Cut it out.
I'm not touching you.
I said I don't want to be interviewed.
You know how many
Will you
millions,
fucking leave me alone?
You know how many millions of people
Fuck you.
died so that we could have freedoms?
Do you know what a sting operation is?
That's what happens when you're in cognitive dissonance. That's what happens when you're drinking the Kool-Aid. That's what happens.
You can't fucking stop recording.
You're walking
you
up
just
to me.
keep talking into the
He
fucking
walks up
thing
to
and
me
you
again.
keep trying to record me. Fuck you.
Anyway, I'm pro Second Amendment. I'm pro First Amendment. I'm pro Fifth Amendment. I'm pro Constitution. But a lot of these people who are pro, are you pro Second Amendment?
I am.
Shall not be infringed means shall not be infringed, right? Men died so that we could keep any weapon we want to, right? There's no restrictions on that.
We keep our freedoms.
Yeah.
That's why men died. Yes.
Exactly. And anybody who's
freedom is not free.
exactly, because men died for our freedoms. So I'm not going to spit on their graves and say red flag laws are okay, right?
That's right.
Kamala Harris is for red flag laws. I'm against Kamala. That's all she needs to say. I don't need to know her policies. She's against the Second Amendment. I'm against Kamala Harris, right? So any politician who comes against the Second Amendment shall not be infringed. Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Shall not be infringed means what it said. You don't need a PhD. You don't need a law degree. It just means what it says, right?
Keep it simple.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't care who comes against it. I don't care if it's Ted Cruz, who's also been against it, Dan Red Flag Law Crenshaw and the TAPS Act and all that stuff. It's nasty stuff, right? So what do you think about when Donald Trump comes up and says, I don't know, Mike, I like take the guns first, due process second, right next to Diane Frankenstein, who's a gun grabber?
I'm not sure.
Do you think we should sidestep due process and grab guns and then ask questions later?
I don't think anyone should grab guns.
Yeah, because that's what Trump was saying. Let's grab the guns, and then he criminalizes.
When did he say that?
Oh, in 2019, when he was sitting next to right after the Parkland school shooting, and he said, "I don't know, Mike. I like take the guns first." I'm sorry, it was the Las Vegas shooting. I like take the guns first, due process second. This man had a lot of guns. We need to go in and take the guns, and then give.
I don't remember that per se. I do remember them outlawing bump stocks for a while, but that just got changed.
But it got changed by the tyrants of the Supreme Court. They actually made the right decision. But Trump criminalized tens of millions of Americans through that bump stock ban.
But the Supreme Court made that decision, but Trump put in the people in the Supreme Court. So the ones he put in made that decision.
Well, some of the Democrats actually voted said, hey, that's unconstitutional. You can't implement a bump stock ban, which is hypocrisy on their part because they're gun grabbers too.
Yeah. Well, I don't believe Trump wants to take our guns.
I like taking the guns early. Take the guns first, go through due process second.
Well, I don't believe Trump wants to take our guns.
Well, what's the red flag gun confiscation law then?
I don't know.
That is why I have called for red flag laws, also known as extreme risk protection orders.
He said, we're implementing the red flag gun confiscation law. That's exactly what Kamala Harris is doing. The reason I'm against Kamala Harris is because she wants to take our guns. She wants to violate our First Amendment rights. She wants to come into our house and take our guns.
The reason I'm against Kamala Harris is because our border's open, our prices are high.
The president's control prices?
Well, their policies do.
Like what policy?
Energy. Not being able to access our energy, our oil.
We're the biggest domestic producer of oil right now than America has ever been.
But we could be more.
Well, what I'm saying is under Biden, he topped Trump. We're domestic production for oil and gas.
I'm not so sure about that.
Check it out.
I got to go, buddy. Have a good night.
Well, don't be in cognitive dissonance, man. You can't. If you're supporting Trump, you're against the Second Amendment. Now, would you say you're a pro Second Amendment guy?
Oh God, yes.
When it says shall not be infringed, it means shall not be infringed.
That's right.
Are those your signs?
That's my signs.
Oh man,
okay.
You sure?
They're just signs. They're just signs.
All right.
Don't worry about it. They just
So
signs.
you're Second Amendment all the way. If somebody violates that Second Amendment, they are freaking tyrant. Like Kamala Harris, she wants to take away AR-15s, AK-47s. She wants to institute a high capacity. She wants to ban those things.
I mean,
what's your reaction to that?
I mean, whether you got a high power magazine or you got a 6-shooter, it do the same thing. It's not the weapon, it's the people. If you want to do anything, talk to the people. The guns are not doing anything. The guns just don't get up and say, I'm going to kill such and such today. I mean, come on. I mean, it's just common sense. We got to start using common sense in America. So we have lost our train of thought. We have been, TV and social media. I mean, it's just driving us crazy.
So when Senator Nelson got up on the CNN Clown Hall stage and he said, the guns are what is going to do the killing.
When you get right down to it, the gun is what is going to do the killing.
You don't buy that.
I don't buy it.
Guns don't do the killing.
Guns don't do no killing.
Psychopaths
Just
do.
like knives don't do no killings, cars don't do no killing. I mean, you just got people that just have an agenda that they want to push, and they'll do anything and say anything, all means to try to influence other people to think like them. And it's just absolutely absurd.
So what did you think back in 2019 when Trump said, I like take the guns first, due process second, as he was sitting next to Dianne Feinstein, who is an absolute gun grabber?
I mean, he said what he said. I believe in what he says. I mean, Trump
take the guns first, due process second?
Trump has never, I don't see that Trump has never did anything that, he regretted saying afterwards, because I mean, when the facts are there, the facts are there.
Doesn't that kind of make you cringe though? You know about red flag confiscation laws, right?
Right, I know what you mean.
Were you for that?
I mean, I wasn't, it's just the fact that people just, I mean, we can have this debate over and over and over again. It's still gonna be the same thing for me. Guns don't kill people.
Let me just tell you my position. I hate people like Kamala Harris because she wants to take our guns. If somebody wants to take my guns, then they're my enemy, because I use my guns to protect myself, protect my family, and people in my zone of influence. When I go to the grocery store, people are safe around me because I got my firearm and they can get behind me and I'll cover for them. But when Kamala Harris wants to take that away from me, I consider her a tyrant. Anybody who wants to take away my guns, I don't care if it's a Republican or Democrat. Do you feel the same way?
Absolutely. 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 There's no question.
What do you? Go ahead.
If people really want to go and do some history and things of that nature, the Second Amendment actually helped protect African Americans as well. But nobody wants to do no type of research. They just want to listen to somebody say that a gun did this, a gun did that. But actually, it's for your own protection. So that's how countries like Venezuela and all those countries, got taken over, because they took the guns first and then they ran through the country
That's
because the people didn't have no type of fight.
Yep. An armed society is a polite society. And you're right. The first gun laws in this country were inherently racist because they wanted to keep black men from being empowered to fight against systemic racism. I love this guy. This guy's my brother. Trump!
That's right.
Trump!
24.
Yes. Hey, thank you, brother. What's your name?
Jonas.
Jonas. I'm Brian.
All right. Good to meet
I love you, man. I appreciate you.
We have a lot more footage from this Trump rally in Atlanta, Georgia. There were a lot of people there, and we did quite a few interviews. Now, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with everybody you know. Those who seek to take our rights are our enemies, and those who need rulers are unfit to choose them for others. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and be on the lookout for the next interview video. I'll see you in the next one.